All right, everyone, we are just after the 1 o'clock hour here on this Saturday. It is December 13th, and we are in the thick of it really at this point. I was just getting this map updated for you to show you this live in-dot camera that is on the east side of town. It's actually near that Mount Comfort Road exit along I-70. A couple things you're going to notice here. Obviously, the snow is coming down at such a clip that visibility is becoming a concern. The wind's starting to pick up as well, starting to blow some of this light, fluffy snow around. And we have seen several slide-offs. We have been watching one after the next. On even our major interstates, our major thoroughfares, we are seeing people perhaps just driving a little bit too quick, getting into some slick spots here on the roadways, and then ending up in the shoulder or perhaps making contact with some of those barrier walls. So this is just one incident that we're following right now. This is I-70 and this is out near Mount Comfort Road. So visibility, road conditions, you can just see kind of what it looks like. And this is not isolated to the east side. We are looking at snow-covered roadways all across the Indianapolis metro. And check it out. This is mapping accidents as they are incoming into our traffic system. So right now we're following several crashes basically all over town. West side, we've got a couple slide-offs over on 465. There's one just to the north of 10th Street and a secondary crash reported just to the north of that. That's near that I-74 junction. Had an earlier incident just clear here on I-70, but we've seen several slide-offs both directions of I-70 coming in to the city and out of the city in between those 465 ramps and the north split. And we've also had a couple crashes reported here on 465 northbound near US 40 out on the east side. So it doesn't matter what side of town you are on, everyone kind of experiencing the same travel difficulties, and the snow is very widespread at this point. So again, it's a combination of some heavier snow bands that are now starting to set up. I've tried to adjust our radar here to really point out where we're seeing some of those heavier snow bands. You can see this darker blue that's now set up down in Greenwood over from Morgan into Johnson County, just to the south of the I-70 corridor, from Terre Haute over to Monrovia into Mooresville, that area as well, and then some heavier snow now set up basically right on top of Connorsville, Rushville, and Shelbyville. We also have some heavier snow bands that have set up across northern Indiana as well. So everybody, with the exception of places like Bedford, and we talked about this earlier this morning, it's going to be one of those situations where there is going to be a pretty quick cutoff on who sees 4+ inches of snow and who may get less than 2 inches. And I think that line's going to set up kind of right in between Bloomington and Bedford, and then Columbus and Seymour. So that's your current radar picture right now. I wanted to take a step out and show you what is still to come. And I've actually mapped the back edge of the snowfall, and it's still in Iowa. It is 500 and nearly 40 miles still to our northwest. So we're just kind of getting started here. We anticipate the snow to continue falling, perhaps not as heavy as it is outside right now, but we will likely still be adding to our accumulation totals all the way until this whole system wraps up. And that's going to take some time. We're watching now between about 6 to 8 p.m. Might see some spots in eastern Indiana that lasts through about 10 o'clock this evening. Just depends on where you are in the state. But just wanted to show that bigger picture to you so you get an idea of how widespread this snow event is. Now, because we are anticipating those higher snowfall potentials, we have seen this upgraded. This happened overnight before 4 o'clock in the morning, and then the Wilmington National Weather Service office over in Ohio added Wayne, Fayette, and Union counties to the winter storm warning. That will be in effect through 7 a.m. on Sunday. All of the counties that border Ohio, the rest of the state, that will expire at this point still midnight. So as you can see, that really is the entire rest of the day today that's going to be in effect. So weather impact alert for not only the snow that's coming in, but the bitter cold that will come in behind it and keep it around for the next couple of days. So once this heavy snow wraps up this evening, we're going to be talking about that bitterly cold air settles in tonight, continues really through Monday morning before we see a little bit of a warming trend Monday afternoon. Most of us see 4 to 6 inches. There will be some isolated higher totals within central Indiana, especially along the I-74 corridor. And as Sean Ash mentioned on his social media pages earlier this morning, I thought this was a good point. If you can and you are able to, it is a good idea to perhaps get outside and do a little shoveling as you can, perhaps once an hour, once every couple of hours. So by the time this is all said and done, you don't have 6 inches of snow outside of your door and things can be cleared off a lot quicker, because you're not going to want to get outside and do any shoveling later tonight or tomorrow. That's because the wind will pick up a bit. We're going to see blowing and drifting snow possible. We're also going to see wind chill values fall below 20 below as we get into Sunday. So no one's going to want to be outside, nor should you be outside in temperatures like that. As far as our temperatures right now, we are seeing that downward trend. We started our morning off here in Indy at 31 degrees. We're now down to 20. And check out the core of that cold right now. Portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, the air temperature is 6 below. That's the air temperature. Wind chill values approaching 30 below at this point. And that colder air, that's what's headed in our direction. Temperatures have already achieved what will go in the record books as the highs for today. We're just going to continue to trend downward as the afternoon plays out. And this particular map actually takes the wind chill off of the map, off of the grid, because we are forecasting wind chill values by about 9 o'clock tonight to fall below 0. Also something to note, with the colder air, that is going to change up what we call the snow ratio. How much snow are we going to get out of any given amount of liquid? And it's going to change based on the air temperature. So I've shown this a couple times this morning. I think it does a good job of explaining how that colder air can give us more snow. Typically, with temperatures close to freezing, we have a snow ratio of 10 to 1. That's perhaps 1/10 of an inch of liquid precip makes about 1 inch of snowfall. The same amount of liquid, when temperatures drop, changes our ratio, say 20 to 1. So we've got the same amount of liquid, but we've got more snow. And that potentially could change overall snowfall potential today as that colder air starts to take back over. Not to mention, it's just going to make it more difficult to get the roads to be clear, especially when salt and the brine and what they treat the roads with becomes less effective at those colder temperatures. So this is the latest snowfall map. Really haven't changed this since about 9 o'clock this morning. The only change that I really did make today from yesterday, up the snowfall potential 4 to 6 inches, isolated higher. And then I did lift this a little farther to the north to include Kokomo and Marion. I think Marion's going to be right there on that 4-inch line. And then pushed it a little farther to the south to include the I-74 corridor. That's that quick cutoff, Bloomington to Bedford. I think Bloomington also is going to be right there near that 4-inch mark, but Bedford potentially could see less than 2 inches or perhaps even less if you get in on the drier side of this snow event. So something we're going to be watching for you. Here's a live look over downtown Indy, where the snow has certainly been falling for several hours now. Really noticed the snow picking up in its intensity around the Indy metro as 13 Sunrise was going off the air at about 10 o'clock this morning. And it's stayed looking like this ever since. In fact, the temperature has continued to drop. We already have wind chill values in the single digits. So let's walk it through the rest of your Saturday, get you prepared. I know that we've had several folks kind of call into the newsroom asking if certain events were still on. We have had several events canceled today. So before you head out to go to something, make sure it hasn't been canceled. Don't put yourself at risk on the roads if you don't have to. This takes us through 4 o'clock today. So for the next 3 to 4 hours, things really not going to change much. Even through 6 o'clock, I think we'll still see some heavier bands setting up kind of right here in east central Indiana. Then we'll fast forward to about 8 p.m. So this will have most of the snow wrapping up around the Indy metro by that point. But as I mentioned, I think the eastern and southeastern tier of the state will likely see snow falling and additional accumulation through about 10 o'clock tonight. Then it's going to be more so just some light snow flurries and then snow that's going to be blown around by the winds, not additional snowfall after we get to about 10 o'clock tonight. Then during the overnight, the sky starts to clear. That colder, drier air takes over. We are already potentially looking at some sub-zero air temperatures by 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And at this point, that wind chill's really going to come into play. These are your peak coldest wind chills in the forecast for Sunday morning. Many spots, I think everybody gets close to 20 below. And then during the course of the day tomorrow, we're just not anticipating much of a warming trend. Air temperatures stay in the single digits. And as far as our wind chill goes, the warmest part of the day tomorrow is going to be in that 3 o'clock hour with a wind chill of 4 below. And comparing a high temperature of 9 degrees to where we should be at this point in the season, the average high is still in the low 40s. This is rare air that we're going to be experiencing tomorrow. In fact, if we only hit a high temperature of 9, that would tie the daily record low maximum temperature that was set back in 1963. It's been some time since we've had air this cold this early in the season. And we're going to keep it cold through Monday morning. Sub-zero wind or air temperatures, I should say, on Monday. The wind chill is not going to be as drastically cold Monday morning, mainly because the wind will start to calm a bit, but it's still not going to be comfortable. Air temperature 3 below, wind chill about 15 below Monday morning. But then we will start to recover. We're back to 24 Monday afternoon, back above freezing Tuesday, back to normal Wednesday. And then we're looking at above average temperatures and perhaps even a couple of rain events as we get into the latter part of next week and then into next weekend. And I just wanted to compare the high temperature to the average low at this point. 24-year high on Monday is still colder than the average low temperature for this time of year. We have that weather impact alert that will be in effect through Monday for the potential of some school disruptions and impacts there. But then we do see some pretty big improvements as we head through the middle part of next week and temperatures do recover. So again, here we are at 1:14 in the afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on WTHR Plus as well as our streaming platforms. Angela is now in, so she's going to be here keeping you updated for the rest of the afternoon. But again, just another quick look at some of our interstates right now as snow continues to fall. Here's a look over at I-70. The scene of that crash did clear, so that is some good news. But again, keep in mind, we're going to have pretty snow-covered roadways all through the afternoon hours today, and we do anticipate several slide-offs and crashes like that. So if you have to be out, please use extra time, extra caution, or just stay at home if you can. We'll get you updated again on what's going on weather-wise at the top of the 2 o'clock hour.